Okay,
So,
hold on.
if you have a
It's free
car.
to
Hold
put it
on,
there.
hold on. It's not me putting it in.
No, 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 no,
And it's
no,
not the
no,
township
no,
putting it in.
I know that, I know, that's not what I'm
Okay,
saying,
so
I'm not dismissing you.
PIE&G puts one in.
Okay, so you have a car that takes gas, you have to go pay $5 a gallon to fuel your car up. But if I have an electric car, I can go and get free charging.
Sure.
Does that not make sense, or what?
Yes.
That is
But see,
totally,
it's not free.
It's not free,
Yeah,
you have
it's
to put
but it's
in
free
something
to
there.
me, if I have a car, an electric car, it's free to me.
I don't think these down here, you don't have to pay for it.
Because we pay for the electricity.
You just pull in
You
and
guys
plug them in.
you guys are putting this into a township issue, it is not.
I
only
know
thing
it's
this
not,
is-
that's not what
The
I'm
only thing
saying.
is, we provided possible locations. They will confer with the property owners, and if they decide to
But
do
some
it,
of those
they'll agree to
locations
it.
are on township
Nothing to
property.
do with, no, they're on their private property. We don't
Hold
own
on,
the
let me
Chamber
fix
of Commerce, we don't own the BP or Freddy's.
Well, the ones
We don't own any
downstate,
of
you have
that.
to put a credit card.
Why are we having this
hear you.
discussion if the township doesn't have
So
anything to do with
they're
it?
gonna do it
That are
up
already
here.
here.
We were asked to provide possible locations, and that's what
Okay.
we did, nothing more.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm just saying downstate, you
Can
put
you
a
hear
credit
us?
card in there to get your electricity.
You don't have to here.
But they may have just been trying it out. But they're gonna get paid for that electricity sooner or
Probably.
later.
Probably.
Yeah.
We were muted.
All we can guess is, sure, nothing's for free.
Let's answer the
But
question.
anyhow-
She was
Just
trying to
letting us
tell.
know that we were muted, our computer's kinda doing its own thing back here.
Is it?
It was like, all of a sudden out of nowhere, it goes recording in progress, and then now we were
Yeah.
muted, so,
Are they online?
All right, so anyhow,
yeah,
that's all we did, was what was brought to us. Now you all know.
Okay.
we're just sharing it with
Thank
you.
you for
We're not doing
sharing.
anything, we're not
We
voting
ain't
on
doing
anything,
nothing.
we're just letting, informing the public body.
You guys
What's it
are,
called?
you guys, tough crowd.
Oh,
This
That's
gets any
hard,
bigger,
eh?
we're gonna have to move this outside, guys.
I'm just saying PING isn't gonna put those in for free and then not get paid for the electricity.
The ones they put
The
in
state
over
of
there
Michigan
are.
will
well,
probably
Yeah.
grant
They're,
money for that.
they'll get their money
Doesn't
eventually,
matter.
they're a big company.
Don't,
I'm not worried about it, I don't
We
know.
don't care, we're not involved.
Yeah.
there you go.
I think I should involve
You don't care, you're not involved in it.
That's
That's
exactly right, we
government
don't.
for you.
But you are involved in it.
No, we're
You
not.
pay your electric bill here.
We are not charged.
Moving
for it.
on.
You wanna
Right,
bet
but
that isn't,
we're
that
paying
cost
for
of
it, our
that thing isn't spread
taxpayer
across
is
every
paying for
one
those
of our
charging
bills?
stations right now.
Go read the documents that they put out and you'll know. I don't even know that. I'm not involved in it.
It's a
If
business.
you wanna
They have
be,
to
you're
get the
more than
money
happy
from
to get
somewhere.
involved with them.
If they're getting state
Okay.
money, a lot of it's coming through the gas tax to help fund the charging stations across the state. And then a lot of that's gonna come from federal highway dollars, so then
Yes,
the
none of it
infrastructure
comes out of
bill.
the
But
gas
if it's,
tax.
but you have to see, if it's coming from the gas tax, what ends up happening, and this could be downstate Detroit or northern Michigan, the people that still drive the gas cars, inevitably, the big picture is you're paying to get these installed for the people that are buying the $60,000 electric vehicles. That's pretty much what happens. So it's your gas
Or
tax
sports
money,
rich.
portion of that.
Change your battery, cost you to buy a new car.
Thank you.
Yes.
If you can afford one.
Right, that's,
I just didn't know if the charging, system is charged to the, and our, budget that our township pays for?
No,
You know, any of the
we don't
electric
pay
bill?
for nothing, and
No,
it has,
everybody-
no,
So they don't do an extra charge on the electric bill?
no,
No.
It's spread over
no.
everybody's.
Those
Do
are
we
really
charge them
separate.
for
We do not
being
get-
over there?
No.
The only thing that gets electric down in the park is the Maisie building and then
We don't park.
where the toilets are. We do not get a bill, it's not on our, and then the open air pavilion, if anybody plugs into it. Those two charging stations do not get charged on our electric.
Everybody's electric bill.
Okay, we all good?
Yep.
All right.
very quick.
All right, last one is park millage. Our, park millage did not pass. Went down by 4 votes. So,
So now it's on November?
well,
We don't know yet.
you need to slow down a little bit,
Let us communicate.
okay? We haven't said nothing yet, except for it didn't pass. So it didn't pass. So Phil, would you like to run with this, huh?
Give it to me,
Get
Ken.
beat up.
All right, what we've got is we're gonna put before the board tonight a motion for the millage proposal for the parks once again. We feel we have to do that I think you guys heard tonight from the report that was given by the treasurer on the treasurer's report, we got about $27 in the park fund. That park doesn't operate on $27, period. It don't operate on $27. It needs millage money, just like the cemetery. It needs millage money. That's how they're funded. It went down because a lot of people, I think, don't really understand why it was proposed. It was proposed because we haven't had a millage down there for 3 years, maybe 4. And the township has footed the bill for that park. It costs about $25,000 a year just to maintain this park. We also maintain Davis Park, which is Davis Field for the ball fields. And we also maintain the big park up here north of town, off Bettinger Road. We have a lot of park property. So if we start improving these properties or cutting grass or whatever we have to do, it's not for free. It costs you money, and it's coming out of the wrong thing. It's coming out of the wrong funds. So all we asked for was a quarter bill, which is 25 cents on 1,000, which is not a whole lot of money. So if you have a $100,000 property, you're looking at $25 for 4 years. But you're gonna have better parks. You can see that already. You've got a pathway through the park itself, the asphalt parkway. You've got picnic tables, you've benches down there. You've got a brand new restroom system that's opening up with 2 washrooms in it, with all kinds of amenities, inclusive of baby changing, diaper changing tables, and heat, and all kinds of things. So it will be open, most likely, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's providing a service to the people. And again, that doesn't come for free. We need park millage to operate parks and to maintain them and to grow them. So if you said we'd like to see the weeds mowed down, well, we need money for that. There's things we have to have in order to do. Just to give you an idea, the millage in Avery Township, the operating millage failed by 4 votes. Do you know what that means? They don't have any money to run the township. They have no money for their government. Now, just think, those no votes are costly. And people, they look at it as an evil thing, but villages are not evil, guys. They're a positive step in a direction that the township and the community wants to go. We want a good park system. We all want a good park system. Somewhere you can go and relax. People can go up, ride horses up in the one up here, they ski, they ride sleds.
Little toboggan run up there.
It's for everybody.
Yep.
And the ball fields, all the little league ball players that play out here, guys, we need parks, and we can't do it for free. So we're gonna ask that quarter bill again in November on the general election.
You would be surprised how many tourists to this city come through the farmer's market and say how beautiful Briley Park is.
Really?
I have heard it over and over and over. So it's even bringing in, a couple of people have said, well, we were just gonna drive on by, but we saw that park, so we stopped and we walked through it. It's a tourist attraction also.
Yeah, well,
How much revenue is that quarter mil gonna generate?
about 17,000, a little over 17,000,
You said it cost how much to maintain the,
about 25,000. Should we have gone for $500,000? Probably, but the problem being that you gotta look at the mindset of the general public as to paying taxes.
no, I know it didn't pass at a quarter mil, it's not gonna go at a half.
That's exactly right. So
Yeah.
we wouldn't go to a half even though we need it. You take little steps and you make those improvements and show people that you're gonna do what needs to be done with their money. And when you do that, they're willing to give you more. That's where we are. We don't wanna go for the big tamale, if you will. We're not interested in doing that. We're interested in maintaining. Because we can probably get grants for a lot of this other stuff, and that can come out of the ARPA money. There's different ways to go for different things, but you cannot get millage money out of ARPA. Can't do it, doesn't exist.
I've said it for years and I'll say it again. Part of that issue with that park is that playground equipment needs to be expanded. That park is pretty, but that park is definitely not the best for younger kids, especially under 5. Whether it's just a couple pieces at a time, it is what it is, but if we wanna be bringing families and that more to the community, that playground equipment, something needs to be done with it. So that, I think, should be not the most number one thing to look at, but one of at least the top 3 things to look at while doing the park, maintaining the park, and expanding it.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Well,
My wife and I noticed it in Vail the other night, when we were talking about it a little bit. We were curious if the park couldn't support itself to a little bit of an extent, since it wasn't able to pass the village. And we were thinking that it would be worth add parking fees to the parks as a way to collect funds to support them. Especially if you, since we're going to have the electric cars there, if the first hour is a reasonable price, the second hour is a little bit more, and the third hour is an exorbitant price, so we can get some money out of those electric cars. We can sell our parking spaces, not hurt the people who are coming there for an hour or two with their kids, but take care of our parks through those people who are just gonna sit there with their car running.
Ken, is there anything that we, as the public, can do? There's only a few of us here, but like, when it's just before election time, is there flyers that can be handed out? I know we can do word of mouth. Do we have signs? Anything we can put into our yards to try to pass this millage?
Yeah.
Because it is important.
Well, and there's something there, the township cannot spend money and,
Promote.
to advertise and to, put little signs out, little yard sale signs about, it has to be a person, individual, or a group that's willing to take on that responsibility and run with it. So, yeah, there is a few things that, the public can do and, show support for, a little bit of park millage, and I think if you really sat down and did the numbers on what it's gonna cost everybody, it's not that much.
No, it isn't.
It's a couple bucks,
They always say.
it's what it is, but, I have a concern about, putting it out there right away. I got some
We
other,
don't do it, you look at 2 years.
yeah, I know, I got some other new
Coordinating with y'all.
Can they put it on?
I'd like to drop on you, but. Go ahead.
I'm a big proponent of trying to bring in money from the state, bringing back our taxpayer dollars, whether it's from the feds or from the state of Michigan. So I don't know if you're aware, but DNR is gonna be offering a parks grant program here probably by the end of the summer. And it's $65 million for parks, it's parks upgrades, it's parks maintenance, trying to address lack of services during COVID and all that kind of stuff. So I printed this off, it's called the DNR Sparks Grant, have you heard of that?
Yes.
You have? Oh, well, it's a 0% match, right? And it's from $100,000 to $1 million grant application. So the first round is due by they're gonna award it by the end of the year, so by the end of December, it'll be 15 million. Round 2 is 25 million in the spring of 2023, and round 3 is 25 million in the summer of 2023. So if you're looking at improvements, I don't know what the vision is for the park, but it certainly does cover increased repair and maintenance needs to respond to significantly greater use of public facilities in local communities across the state. It may include development, renovation, or redevelopment of public recreation facilities, et cetera, including equipment and programs. Funds may be expended for activities such as, project review, planning, architecture and engineering services, construction, oversight, and compliance, et cetera, et cetera. So I say anytime you see 0% match grants, you should be thinking about doing it, because you're bringing back our tax dollars, instead of looking at just strictly a millage,
That's right.
we could get that metal elk
Yeah.
that I was been wanting.
We
could get one.
Sit on and take your.
Yeah, photo opportunity.
Absolutely, that brings people.
What you got?
Do you know if, like on your social media, like on
Atlanta page?
all around Atlanta and stuff, can we put on about the millage thing on that, or can you not use social media?
I think
For that.
you can use social media,
We
but
can't.
we're not, as the township, we can't put it up on a township webpage, we can't advertise, we can't spend no money on trying to get money.
Right.
Basically is,
We can't? Why did the sheriff's department and that get to do the whole put up, I'm just questioning, cause I'm ignorant to this subject, obviously, but
they
why?
must have had somebody that was, maybe even one of the crew
Okay.
that was willing to go buy a sign and put some up, but I don't think you can spend
You can't.
government money to get government money.
Yeah.
Or,
That's-
or to tax you more, or to whatever.
Yeah.
No, I get that spending money,
Yeah.
but promoting it in a way that you're not spending money, that should be
If you-
legal, isn't it?
If you bought signs or put it out on the web, or, you know,
Even if
somebody,
you paid for it personally?
you,
You as an
You
Well, I
individual.
mean,
can.
I could, but
You could.
you could
Correct.
but,
Being a
you know,
board.
I'm a,
Well, you can, being a board member, you can
So-
still do it.
Individual.
So in
Individual.
other words,
For the
you can
township.
can I
scan
put it on
in
my
this
Facebook,
document,
Facebook
Right.
and then
page?
you
Yeah.
can share it on Facebook, but none of us can,
Right.
Okay, got it.
because
Yeah.
we're board
You
members.
could do a sign and stick it in your yard,
Yeah, I probably could do that.
absolutely.
Scott?
What we need to do is get the Friends of Briley Park organization together and let them take care of it.
We've been trying to get a Park and Recs committee for a very long time.
Really?
If anybody is interested, please go ahead and submit a letter of interest so that we can get a Park and Rec committee going.
Well,
Because from my understanding, we do not have one yet, do we?
I can-
No, no.
Yeah, I can take it to.
And we could use all the help.
I can offer it at the Eagles if you'd like. But,
What is
anybody
your
might wanna join.
capacity to think about grant applications?
About what?
What grants, potential grants? I mean, what's your capacity and ability to apply for grants?
On a
consider
zero
grants?
Or
Limitless.
any grant.
Yeah,
I mean, you're looking at ATV trails, you're looking at snowmobile trails.
Oh, I'm just
you're looking
wondering, in, like, with your staff and everything, in terms of staff
Who's-
capacity to
who's
actually
doing the grant
apply,
writing?
can somebody, how would you guys actually consider making the decision whether or not to apply for grant funding, or would you consider it?
we'd have to do it as a board.
As a board, to seek that funding, that's what we have to do,
So
and
is
have a
there
specific
one of you
product.
guys that would be really good at doing that?
As a grant writer,
You have to have
I
specific
think-
projects that are listed.
Nope, there's no approved
no, no.
recreation plan
Wait.
required.
Or there's no what?
You don't have to have an approved recreation plan.
You don't.
No, not as part of this.
Not one of
This
those
is
ones?
wide open.
Snatch that up.
$100,000
Oh,
minimum.
man.
do we have to,
I thought I'd
do we
seen
have
it
to,
I'll
once.
volunteer to help write it, as long as I don't have to do it.
Give me a copy of it, would you?
I'm here, I'll do
Yeah.
this.
That would be great.
Yeah.
You got that? Is this
Make a
your
copy.
only one?
No,
I'd
I
like to
can
have
put
a
it up.
copy of it too.
Okay.
You just look up, search DNR Sparks, and you'll,
Okay.
and they're still coming up with the application criteria, but they're not gonna require an approved recreation plan. So it's $100,000 minimum, 0% match, how often does that happen?
It doesn't.
do we have to be
Yeah.
done with our DNR grants that we have right now?
No.
No, this
Oh,
would
we
be
do this
brand
over
new.
and above,
You can have, yeah, you can have.
because when it
This
come
is a
across mine, I
separate-
thought,
this is a
well, that
separate-
one's out because we haven't paid for the grant we're working on.
You can have.
We're not done with that one.
So it's just DNR Sparks?
SPARKS,
Yeah, I got it
DNR
right here.
Sparks.
You don't have to write it down. Unless you
Well,
want
just
to.
in case.
Yeah, go ahead,
I gotta write stuff down.
please.
I don't be
Okay.
like,
I
hey,
can write down my name and number, I'm just,
Yeah.
it's
All right.
grant writing, so.
I'll give everybody on the board a copy of it.
Yeah.
oh, well, yeah, we can do that too.
Yeah. Like I said, my concern would be, rushing this back to the people without knowledge, to the people about how we plan on spending it. That would be my only, but you're right, I mean, if you miss November, you'll be, 2 years before you can get it back on the ballot.
That's exactly
I
right.
mean, go ahead and put it back on the ballot. What happens, happens. I mean, it's not gonna hurt anything to put it back
Why
on the
not?
ballot.
Maybe there was a lot of people that did not vote. They could have voted for the primary. I mean, for what, 1,800 registered
there's-
voters?
there's a lot of
only
people that
about
don't
500 people that
Vote
voted
for in the primary anyway.
Exactly, so,
Hopefully that's gonna change, like this country needs to.
I make a
So,
motion to put it on the ballot for November.
If only you could. But I would like to make that motion, you know, we put this on the ballot, on the ballot as a proposal, the park ballot itself, just like we have before, changing the dates on it, voting it in at a $250,000, starting in 2023 through 2027, inclusive, so that's your 5 years, and it'll start next year. So I'd like to make that motion, please.
Okay,
Is there a second?
is there a second?
Is that 17,000 a year?
Yeah, 17,690.
Sorry, scroll.
Oh, we got a second?
Is there a
Yeah,
second?
I will.
There you go, that's the second.
Okay.
Okay,
Roll call, roll.
roll call.
Supervisor Warner,
Yes.
Treasurer Warner,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. I need to yell. man.
Trustee Banks,
Yeah.
Clerk Lamore, yes. It will be on the November 8th ballot.
All right. Board statements. Vanessa, have you been anywhere?
Yep, we just closed on another parcel, we're getting ready to,
Out to the airport?
yep,
Yeah.
send out estimates for another parcel.
Can you speak up so we can hear you, please?
Man, yes.
I'm sorry. You-
No,
you're
no,
going
it's
like
okay.
this
I'm, like,
and that, I can't hear you.
soft-spoken.
I'm sorry. I'm hard of hearing.
We had we're buying property.
Right, yeah, over
So
by the
for the
airport.
eas-
Yeah, I
for
wanna hear
easements?
what you're saying.
We just closed on one parcel, we're getting ready to send a bid out for another parcel. And we are looking into getting some trees cut. There is a company that's gonna come in and cut those trees, and pay us to take the trees.
You're gonna make money at it. The
Well, I
airport's-
hope so,
Airport's gonna make money at it.
I hope so.
Speaking of the airport, I hardly even see any airplanes coming in and out of there. I'm right in the path.
Well, we were supposed to, I haven't heard anything yet, but, we were in the lineup for
The military,
the
right?
military to set up, to have practice.
Yeah, touch and goes or whatever they're called, or, yeah.
Between here and
The mil-
Alpena?
What's that?
Between here and Alpena?
No, between Grayling
When
and
they-
Alpena, we're gonna get the
Grayling,
touchdown spot.
Yeah,
And they're
so it's
gonna
like
do what?
practice.
Yeah, they were
Active
doing something and then
shooting.
they're gonna set up something that, I don't know, threw up drones or
Something.
whatever, or
Yeah.
something, and they had to chase them down, and, I don't know, it's gonna be kinda cool.
I mean, otherwise, there is nothing going on over there.
I know, and we're
There,
trying to make
you
it a
know,
county
I
airport.
read in the paper, there was like 4,000 flights coming in and out of there in the last 3 years. And I've been here for 3 years, and I've never seen maybe one
Almost-
plane come
You're
in and out
missing
of there.
them.
All those hangars are filled with airplanes, I think, except one.
So they're not the airport's not being used, obviously.
And one,
You
And it
could go
has-
by there
One is
any
empty.
day
One
of
is-
the week, and there's nobody in there.
It's part of the reason why the airport's buying property is to expand it, because there's properties on the other side of the road.
I
That is
understand, I expand it,
causing
yeah. I know the folks that are
obstructions.
selling it, yeah,
So big stuff cannot land.
sure.
They are in the works of trying to get it in the mix of being a designated county airport. But until
I
they
get
hit
it.
all the regulations, they can't. So
But
just
for
the little
years,
stuff.
that thing has not generated any revenue.
Because we've battled with property owners to try to get them to sell their property, or at least give us the
Why'd
air
you have
rights.
to battle with them? Because they
Because
just
they didn't
didn't
wanna
want it.
sell. Because they didn't
They
wanna sell
don't
their
want
property.
it. Who wants to sell their house with a plane going over their house?
Yeah.
All the time, come on. A battle, yeah. No, it's common sense. If I lived down right there, I wouldn't want planes going in and out. Especially, I mean, obviously, it's not being used anyways. It's not being used.
Somebody's using it every now and then.
Who?